Tonight on Trading Shots, the Pro League is back. It's all about Division A Week 5. What are we looking forward to? Then, we looked up some key stats, and our players will debate how those will look at the end of the week. And finally, how will Red Reserve bounce back from their WL Anaheim loss and get over their barriers that have stopped them from winning an event? Merc here and our good friend Chance has returned to make Benson look foolish again. Welcome back. Let's not waste any time. Stage 2 is back, Division A is back, and we're looking forward to see how these teams will respond to their conclusion at WL Anaheim more than a week ago. The question for you players, what are you most looking forward to this week? Chance, you won last time, so let's start off with you.
I want to see Evil Geniuses versus Red Reserve. I think that's the best match we're going to have in the week, and the reason why is there are two teams that have beaten Red Reserve lately. One is Evil Geniuses, and the other, of course, is going to be Rise Nation. So I want to see EG, if they can bounce back from the abysmal performance they had at Anaheim, and see if they can take down the top team in their division once again.
All right, so he's going at EG. I think a lot of people are looking at Evil Geniuses. Obviously, if you watched Anaheim, they were horrendous. You heard Maven last time on Trading Shots. He ripped into him a little bit. Maybe he motivated him just a smidge. But Ben, what are you looking forward to?
You know, Division A is unbelievably close. You look at the standings from 3rd to 7th. It's unbelievably close. It really is. So for me, I'm more excited about finding out when we go into our final week how the standings are going to be, who's going to edge out. We have our Stage 1 champs currently in, I believe, 5th position, not where I think many people would have had them. Yes, admittedly, it is that close, that they're only 1 win away from progressing up in the standings. But still, it's very interesting, especially after Evil Geniuses' kind of poor performance in Anaheim. For me, though, I look at it like if Red Reserve and I think, okay, yeah, they lost in the final, so what? Who's going to challenge them in this division? Absolutely nobody.
Yeah, definitely so. That's what I'm most excited for. Ben, I'm going to give you a bonus point. You got 2 points, Chance. You get 1 because Division A so close right now. This is going to be some of the best Call of Duty that we've watched all year. But until then, let's move on to Quickscope. We here at Trading Shots love our stats. So in this segment, we're going to explore some of those key stats that have helped shave the current standings for Division A. Let's start out with the top, Red Reserve. Through 2 weeks, Red Reserve is currently 6-1 with 19 games won and 9 games lost. For them, we're going to play a little over-under. The 9 games lost. That's 4.5 games lost per week. Benson, what do you think? We'll start with you. Over-under 4.5 game loses for Red Reserve this week.
I'm going to say over, simply because of who they have to play. They go up against the like of Echo Fox, FaZe Clan, and Evil Geniuses. On paper, this is a relatively tough week. Do I think they're going to lose those games? Absolutely not. I really don't think so. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said kind of earlier on in the show, to me, they're the best team in this division. I don't think anyone else can challenge them, and I think they proved that at Anaheim. But this is where it gets interesting. All these other squads, because Division A is so close, they're fighting for wins. They need wins desperately, whether it's maps and series, of course. So I think maybe the games get a little closer for Red Reserve, but I still see them edging them out.
All right, so you got to be on 3-0 this week, but they do have some tough competition. It's a tough week back. Chance, what do you think?
Got to go under. Red Reserve looked incredible, and the last 3 times they've played these 3 teams, because we at Trading Shots love statistics, I think they beat FaZe 3-1, Echo Fox 3-0, and if not, just flip-flop them. And yes, they did lose to EG the last time they played, but that would be 3 maps to EG. So the 1 extra map loss they have, that's 4 total. So at Red Reserve, their worst, they only lost 4 maps, and they're not going to lose to EG this time. They're definitely going to be under.
So you think, Chance, you think they're going 3-0?
Yeah, almost certainly going to go 3-0. There's a small chance it doesn't happen, but even still, even if someone takes them down, they're going to beat the other teams bad enough that they still go under 4.5 map losses.
All right, I like that confidence in Red Reserve, Chance. I'm going to go ahead and give you a point on that one. I agree with you. I think Red Reserve coming off a very hot Anaheim. Yes, they got 2nd place, but there's so much confidence in this team. You have EG who's struggling. You have FaZe who, yeah, I mean, it's another open event. They got top 8, but they're not winning. And then, of course, Echo Fox. Nobody has any idea what is going on with Echo Fox. Next up, Evil Geniuses. After Seattle, confidence was sky high for EG. But after Anaheim, who knows what EG squad we're going to get. It's still a very tight race for that playoff spot, and I think it's fair to ask, will Evil Geniuses remain in the top 4 at the end of the week? Chance, what do you think?
At the end of the week, yes, almost definitely. I think even statistically, it'd be tough for them to not. Like, they play Epsilon, they play Splice this week. it's at least one guaranteed win, and that would put them like 3 maps above the bottom 4 teams. The fact that they're in second place, 3 teams have to overtake them. There's only so many maps to play in a single week. So yes, without a doubt, even if EG has their worst week possible, they'll still end up in the top 4.
Now, they have that very tricky match against Epsilon. I know a lot of people are looking at Epsilon maybe to steal a win here, but Chance, he thinks they're going to be safe. Benson, what do you think?
I mean, EG have a quote cushion, right? They're in second place. They have 5 wins. I have to agree with Chance. I think it'd be crazy to say anything other than basically everything Chance said, right? The games they play, Epsilon? Is Epsilon going to get their first win this week against EG? Doubtful. Splice? Have Splice really looked that good where you feel like EG isn't going to take them down, especially in Columbus? Yes, of course, EG a bit of a disappointing last event, but I mean, for me, you can chalk up the game against Red as an L, right? Just you can hold that, but they should still go positive for the week, even if they don't, even if they go 1-2. To Chance's point, mathematically, I think it's going to be very, very tough for them even to fall below that number 4. So for me, they stay in the top 4 for now.
All right, so both of our players agree that, well, they're going to stay in the top 4. I agree with them as well. Both players are going to get a point here. Listen, if you look at Anaheim, Evil Geniuses, their search and destroy was not there. The one good sign for EG, their hard point was there. And I think if you look at this roster from top to bottom, you would say, yeah, hardpoint probably not going to be their best. But if they can keep that up, and they're going to be hungry this week, right? I mean, they're not happy with this performance. I am excited to watch Evil Geniuses compete throughout this week. Okay, next up, we have something a little bit different. A little player versus player matchup. Hook and Assault are currently tied at a 1.21 respawn KD, which happens to be the highest in their division. That being said, Ben, who will end up with a higher respawn KD at the end of the week, Hook or Assault?
I'm going to go with Hook here. And to Chance's point, of course, on Trading Shots, we love stats. Well, here's a very, very easy stat for you. Of course, Team Envious will only play less games this week than Evil Geniuses do. They play 3, EG play 4. So just because of that, I feel like there's a higher percentage chance that Assault could have a worse map. And Hook's been playing very well. Both of them, of course, have been playing extremely well. You look at the weight of the matches as well. I believe both teams play Echo Fox. There's a Splice matchup in there for Team Envious as well as a FaZe matchup. But to me, you know, Hook's been very, very good, right? Has he been, you know, back to what everyone expected? Maybe not.
Pretty darn close.
He's been very, very good. And I think he's peaking at the right time, which is important for the squad. And I expect to see that consistency for both players to continue. But similarly, because EG play one extra series, I should say, I'm going to go with Hook.
All right, so Ben, he's going with Hook. Chance, who do you have?
Got to go Assault. Hugh has been playing out of his mind, don't get me wrong, but you look to the players on Hugh's team, and I'm looking at Chino. He's been underperforming pretty massively, and I expect he's going to be able to step it up the later the year goes on, and where his stats rise, someone else is going to have to suffer, even if mildly so. But on the flip side of things, Assault, he's the AR player. He's the guy that's going to have all the success. He's going to find all the kills. And even if they have a tough matchup, the ARs are always going to be consistent at the very worst. They're going to be close to that 1.0 KD. And if Assault has good games, which if you look at the Pro League, he's had some amazing ones, he's going to bump up those numbers just a little bit or remain consistent, which Hugh, even if he's consistent, those numbers are just too high. I think Assault gets the edge.
You know, maybe a little bit worried about the Red Reserve game, though?
Again, the ARs will get theirs. That'll be the toughest matchup he has, and even if his 3 teammates suffer, his numbers, again, at worst, will be close to the 1.0, and then I think they have Epsilon this week as well, so he can bump up those numbers just a little bit more. It cancels out.
You know Pat's going to steal those kills, though. You know, that's going to be his game versus Epsilon. Yeah, it definitely will be. This is obviously a very tough question. On the one hand, as Chance said, you have Assault. He's running the AR for Evil Geniuses. He should be able to get those kills. They should come to him a lot easier. But Hook has hit a form. Yes, Envy, they have disappointed these past couple of events. They haven't played up to their full potential. We were very excited, especially looking at Seattle. But even at Anaheim, the dude put up ridiculous numbers. If I had to put a bet on who's going to go off and respawn, I would choose Hook, plain and simple. So I'm going to give that point over to Benson just because I believe in Hook. I think he, as Ben said, he's hitting his stride at the right time. I'm excited to watch Envy and see what Hook can do this week. Last question of Quick Show has to do with Epsilon. And, well, what isn't bad about this team? They have yet to win a match. And, well, my question for both of you, are they finally going to do it this week? That's what everybody wants to know. Chance, let's start with you.
Nope, no, they're just not good. If you look at Anaheim, like their CTF was actually spectacular. They go 4-1, but their S&D was worse than Splice's. Almost as bad as Evil Geniuses, which is really saying something for Anaheim. And their hardpoint wasn't there either. The competition, all the guys they're playing against are going to be fiending to make sure they win this must-win matchup because you can't afford to lose to Epsilon. But Epsilon, what are they playing for? They know they're not going to get top 4. They know they're not making playoffs. They're just trying to get better going into champs, but like the vibe of the team is virtually non-existent, or at least it should be non-existent. They got to go back to the grind, but that's a team that has a lot of questions, zero answers, and the matchups are just too difficult for them.
Well, they were trying to get better before Anaheim.
Yeah, how'd that go?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll just look forward to champs. But Ben, what do you think?
I do want to preface this with they did improve
Sure.
at Anaheim. I know the players themselves said, it felt like things were clicking. Chance brings up the point about search. That was definitely, it didn't go well. But I'm somewhat of an Epsilon connoisseur, Joe. If you remember,
What does that mean?
In stage one,
Okay.
I was the first talent to actually correctly predict their first win. And it wasn't like I predict them every single time. I called it and got it right. So, with that being said, are they going to get their first win? No, absolutely not.
You scared me there.
not.
It's a tough schedule.
Not here in week 3. It mainly just due to that, due to the schedule and due to the fact that the teams they're playing, to Chance's point again, they need wins as well, right? If they're trying to secure their spot in playoffs, they cannot be dropping series against the likes of Epsilon. Where does Epsilon's first win more than likely come?
Week 4?
Probably against a struggling Splice, right? That's where you look for it. Week 3 for me, just due to the way of competition, I can't see it happening.
No, definitely so. I mean, when you look at their schedule, they're going to play a tough EG team. They don't want to lose to Epsilon, just like you said. They want to continue to get better. FaZe and TK, they need wins. They can't look at Epsilon like, oh, we're going to run over them. This is going to be an easy match. No, they cannot do that at all. I agree with you guys. I'm going to give you both 1 point on that because, well, you agreed. But, I mean, if you're Epsilon, maybe you have something to look forward to towards that back end, towards that week 4. Why? Because some people may be out of the running. I don't know, man. This division is so close, but can Epsilon do it? That's the big question. For this Grand Finals, we will return to Red Reserve. There is no doubt they are the top team in this division. They have continued to prove that they are a championship caliber team, but unfortunately, caliber is about as far as it has gone. Red Reserve has been to multiple Grand Finals, but have yet to finish the job. For the Grand Finals, the question is, what is one major factor that Red Reserves needs to do to get over the obstacle to reach the top, to hold that trophy? Chance, you go first.
They don't. They are over the hump. It's done. The only thing they needed to do was to beat Rise Nation, to prove them themselves that they could, and they did that. Granted, in only one series, but even when they're losing, they played them incredibly close. And keep in mind, this Red Reserve team is new. Scraps is a new addition, and I want to point out, Scraps, bottom 5 S&D KD from the top 16 teams at Anaheim. If you look at the Pro League, he's like in the top 10 consistently, so he turns that around just a little bit. That's the only game mode Red Reserve was even struggling in. They'll be miles ahead of where they were. Obviously, Rise Nation is still going to be incredibly difficult competition, but the hump is gone. They've proven to me, they've proven to themselves they can get the win. They just got to make sure they do it in the winners finals next time.
No, I agree with you. The hump is definitely gone, but you pointed out a major factor, Chance. It's their search and destroy. I mean, that was the answer to your question. I answered it for you. What are you doing over there? All right, Ben, what do you have?
To be honest, you look at the two squads, right? The best teams in the game right now, Rise, Red. I mean, Red beat them in the first best of 5, so how do you answer that? It's all about the winner's bracket final. It is as simple as that. Chance touched on it at the very end, but for me, this is the biggest focal point. If Red Reserve go into a grand final with a 2-series comfortable kind of backing, they're winning a championship. Can they do it from the losers? Absolutely they can. They came unbelievably close. But if they did it from the winners, it's just it's easier. I mean, you yourself, Joe, you know, as a former competitor, it just gives you such a sense of being able to relax a little bit. Obviously, you're not going to relax in terms of your gameplay because you don't want to drop anything, but still, you have that extra kind of lifesaver, if you will, an extra life. To me, that winner's bracket final is so crucial. That's the one game, if I was Red Reserve, I would be focusing on. I would make sure that my map vetoes were perfect. I'd make sure everything went to the game plan, because if they get to another grand final from the winner's bracket final, I'm convinced they're winning a championship this year.
So your major factor, Ben, is that you just hope they get to the winner's bracket final and don't play Rise?
Well, even if they do play Rise, they can beat Rise, right? We saw that in the first series. It's just simply they have to win that winner's bracket final. It sounds very simple, and to be honest, it is simple, because you look at everything else that Rise have. What do they need to fix? Their search and destroy? Yeah, okay, is Scrap's going to have another poor event like that? Probably not, let's be honest. In terms of that individual ability, they're all there. We've seen them beat Rise. It's not like they can't beat Rise, but they have to do it from the winner's bracket final. It's the only thing they can improve on.
Disagree completely. They don't have to do it from there. Even when they were coming back for the double best-of-5 against Rise Nation, they still did great. They had, what, a 30-point lead going into the final hill of Gibraltar?
You're absolutely right.
Turn that around. Looney doesn't get that clutch three-piece, whatever it was, on the third hill. Then they force a game number 5, where maybe that's where Scraps decides he wants to go off. The hump isn't there. They don't need to do it in the winners' finals. They can. That would be incredibly helpful. But, again, the hump's just gone. They've proven they're one of the best teams, like top 2 in the world. They can beat the best. They just have to accomplish it playoffs, and they should be getting better and better, especially their S&D. I see no holds bar for this team. They should be on top.
So what's your argument then? How do they improve? Because you basically just said they're already there, so you're saying they don't need to improve.
Well, you said search and destroy. You said they have to
No, but
somehow...
I'm just saying to what you just said.
Yeah.
I'm saying they got 2 weeks to work on their maps where they can just deepen their map pool. They can prepare for Rise Nation. Their S&D is going to come around naturally when they talk things over. The hump itself is gone. Everything is just going to fall into place. It's a new team that's got to get used to playing with each other. You got 2 more weeks of the Pro League. You got playoffs and then champs when it matters most. Red Reserve, I'll make the prediction now. They're going to win one of the 2. For them, they probably hope it's champs.
All right, so Chance, some bold words there. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm pretty disappointed in both of you. There's not a lot of major factors that you can point to. I obviously get it. I know Red Reserve is right there. But, Ben, to your point, they can't just magically show up in a winner's bracket final. They can't just magically hope that Rise Nation isn't on the other side of the stage. They have a lot of work to do. I gave you the bonus point earlier on today, but I think when I hand out these points, I'm going to have to give 2 points to Chance and none to you to let him win this game. I mean, at least he gave a factor. It was search and destroy. It was the big thing. They were 6-5.
Hold up.
Let's hear it.
Rewind. Joe, I'm going to ask you the question.
Yes.
What does Red Reserve need to do?
Search and destroy. It has to be better. They were 6-5 at Anaheim. You can't lose that many games against a Rise Nation team. Chance said you can't have a player in the bottom 5 S&D. That is one major factor.
But that's
it
never
is
going
a
to happen
major
again.
factor.
That is never going to happen.
You could argue you'd never end up in a winner's bracket final again. That can't be a major factor because they have to get there first. No, it cannot.
I've been wrong.
Chance, you win. It's now time to put on your A40 Astro Gaming headsets. Because of our new tradition. Chance, you get to put on the special edition Trading Shots A40 TR headset. With that, it's time for the Smack Talk Winner Circle presented by Astro Gaming. Chance, take it away.
Back-to-back, 2-time champ. No surprises there. Ben is not quite good enough competition. The one thing Ben is good at is getting the crowd hyped, though. I will say Anaheim incredibly lackluster from the crowd perspective until Ben got behind the reins and kind of amped you up a little bit. So I just have to share the appreciation of Benson. I thought he did an incredible job. And speaking of incredible things that happened at Anaheim, Tainted Minds, top 8, out of freaking nowhere. They started winning hard points. They played out of their minds. I hope they can keep it up. My favorite thing is when new teams come into the Pro League and actually show signs of improvement and continue to get better and better. And speaking of Mind Freak, top 8 as well. I predicted you guys to get top 8 at an event at some point this year. Once the year kicked off, it took a very long time for it to happen, but I'm glad we're here, and again, hope it continues. Unilat, you guys absolutely turned up as well. I thought it was just all hype from the EU pros. Turns out those guys just speak the truth, and, well, the ultimate truth from them was Rated. He had a fantastic event. He's got to be better going in to play against Rise Nation, of course, but I'm happy. I thought Anaheim was a great event. The grand finals was spectacular. We got some 2 European teams, top 4. We got 2 Aussie teams in the top 8, and, well, North America, they have the work cut out for them.
All right, so not a lot of smack talk got a chance, but he was giving some love to a lot of people. I love to hear it, but shots were traded, NCAA was debated. Hot mic in Division A start tomorrow. Don't miss out.